in front of me. Basically, what I want to do is like prep you guys for the winter. As you guys know, the winter is coming up. It starts to get cold, and with that brings new challenges like painting. As you can see, everything here has to get painted, and with it being like 20, 30 degrees, that's a real challenge. So instead of slowing myself down, which technically happens to everybody during this time, what I'm gonna focus on is like a lot more indoor stuff. So there are a lot of props that I have and a lot of builds that I have that are gonna entail a couple new things. So I left you guys hanging with a couple things. So there are things that I want to master, which are gonna be like more electronics, more like PCB boards, more like lighting and things like that. So I'm gonna basically start a series with you guys and build up in levels. So basically what I want to start out with for lighting, it's going to be like LEDs and strips of lights. So like LEDs, L boards, fairy lights, lights that already come with power sources and already come with like brains in them. So things that you can already control with the control. They already come with their power source. It's just you add your batteries, put them where they need to go, and light them up. So that's where I'm going to start out first. It's just how to take basic LEDs, what kind of LEDs, what types of LEDs there are to fit in what kind of prop that you're trying to fit it in. From there, I want to take it a little step further, which is kind of like a little step into more so controllable LEDs. So still keeping with LEDs and basic lighting, but what I want to do is start to show how to lightly program them. So you see some LEDs, they do already come pre-packaged, preset, and they come with the wires, but there's no battery. Everything you basically have to manually wire and solder together. So I want to start to show that basically as like a second step. Along with that, I do have some 5mm LED bulbs. These here, these I got from Micro Center. These little 5mm bulbs. These are the bulbs that I started to use in here, but these are our basic source as well. So it's the same thing. They already come with like positive, negative. You just basically got to wire them up and then add your battery source. So I think that's like a little step up, going from just like buying an LED strip, putting batteries in, to now getting a light source and then having to create your battery source, but still being able to fit lights where you want them to go exactly, without being like confined to like a strip. And then finally, what we're gonna get into from there is the big stuff. I'm gonna start to show you guys how to program PCB boards. So we're gonna start to get into the different types of PCB boards. I already gave you guys like a basic introduction. I think I made like a 3-part series going over these PCB boards, so like you can get the basic understanding of them, what levels of PCB boards, what types of PCB boards affect what. Some come with like LCD screens, some like this come with this is the prop maker wing. So this basically comes with everything that you need. You can plug in LED lights, you can plug in soundboard, you can plug in sound switches, everything. So I'm gonna go a lot more into depth from that. So basic lighting, power source lighting to programming. So that's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, I want to master this pumpkin bomb. This one still lights up. I do have to plug it in order for it to do so. And another prop that I felt like I left you guys hanging on are these arc reactors. I had made 2 of these and I didn't finish up the lighting source, but these are amazing. So what I basically did was I printed out the base and PLA, and then I had gotten some plexiglass to go behind that. The file comes with these magnet sources, and it comes with like different layers. So I was adding my own glass. They give you files for diffusers. So this I just printed in transparent filament to diffuse. This one I just gave like the same thing, transparent filament, but just gave it like a little wash of like blue to give it like a tone to it. And then they give it a back piece. And they actually give a file or show like a method of how you can use something to strap this onto your chest. So I definitely want to finish this up and light it up, because as you can see, I got pretty far in it. I got all the aesthetics right, but I just didn't finish up the LED lighting portion. As you guys can see, I was pretty busy. So I want to master both of these and show you guys how to do this. I have a lot more projects coming up with lights. Like I said, guys, this winter is gonna be amazing. We're gonna be indoors. We're gonna be learning some electronics, maybe blow some stuff up, maybe burn some stuff down, but we're gonna learn. Just kidding. But yeah, I can't wait for that. I already got some of the files going for these, which I can't wait for. But with you guys today, I'm gonna show you guys at least the beginning, because I want to do these arc reactors again with the K1 Max. I want to do this again. I did these with the CR10S, but the portion where you're supposed to put lights, you can see like he made a pattern of where you can insert some lights, but those all broke off. So I want to make this a lot bigger and a lot thicker, because I learned from the Halo sword a lot about just lifting the base, so that way when you put lights into certain things, you have like a solid enough structure for it to hold it. So I do want to redo that. And we'll get into that. Aside from that, I do have one other helmet that I'm finishing up. Kind of already showed you guys, but it's the Black Panther helmet from Marvel Rivals. So I'm just gonna solder this. This is the back piece. This was able to print in one, but I did have to cut it. I just felt like certain times on the K1 Max, which happened with the blue Captain America helmet and a Mr. Beast helmet that I was making as well. But going up to a certain height, at a certain height, for some reason the K1 Max starts to give like a layer shift. So to prevent that, I cut it. So I'm going to be putting that together with you guys too. But first things first, I do want to get the arc reactor started. So let me power up and get ready for that. That project is going to be amazing. That one, I have found some files, because I do, since I have the Cade 6 helmet that lights up, I do want to make a file for this ghost shell. They do have files where like these parts extend, and then you can put like a little light on the inside as well. I found Adafruit. Adafruit actually has, just like I was showing you guys a little earlier, those PCB boards. They actually have a PCB board that comes with like a TV screen, like a little LCD screen that you can program, and I'd be able to make something like with the eye or something. I could see if it's like touch screen as well, so that way I can like slide through and basically make it function the same way as a ghost shell. But that's gonna be my main focus for this winter, making things react and do stuff. I think that's really amazing. Something different from helmets too. Take a little break from helmets. As you guys can see, the prop stand on my display case is getting a little full. I think I got my fix of helmets. So yeah, I want to get more into, like I said, electronics, programming, and show you guys that stuff. I've even been working on my own files as well. I feel like if you are somebody that's into 3D printing, you should be getting into creating your own files, just because I feel like a lot of companies are going to start to, especially like Marvel and stuff like that, I feel like they're starting to catch on. So you got to prepare for the change. Let me just load up my slicer. If you are in here as well, leave something in the comments of what you guys would also like to see me make during the winter. And also topics that you guys would like me to answer. I see a lot of the comments, a lot of them are like where you get your STL from and stuff like that, but I want to do, like I said, more of these lives with you guys and answer questions, help you guys out. So let's go. This is the end game. Trying to find it on my slicer. Give me just a second. I don't know why it's not just opening. It's named Endgame. Let me switch you guys over in the meantime. This is where all the magic happens. The slicer. I need a phone stand, that way I can. The one that I had broke. Bear with me, guys. So I'm going to start off with the main piece. And this is what the shell looks like. So it has a lot of depth, a lot of detail. But what I want to do, so I do want to, so I'm gonna definitely scale it up. It's gonna bother me. So I'm gonna put it to 105. But I do want it to like protrude a little bit more. So like on the Y, I want it to come out a little bit more. So I'm gonna go up to like, take uniform off and just put that to 110. No, that resets that though. Just gonna scale this one up. The main part that I want to have scaled up and given a little bit more depth is the part that traces out the lines for all of the lights, the one that gives that path, because that one was a little bit flimsy when I first did it. So I want it to be like a lot more thicker and a lot more sturdy, so that way it holds the lights. But like this, I want to do it this way down because whenever you finish a prop, you always get those like rings at the top. So I think this way might be better. But with the supports, I just don't want the supports to affect anything I have over here. Like all these small little dots and everything. I don't want that to come out cookie. But I feel like if I do that at the top, it might come out like that as well. So I'm going to take my chances and do it this way. And see what we get from there. So again, this is this piece. These small dots. You can see it did get some of those layer lines. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. I think doing it this way would kind of eliminate that. I initially printed it like this, so now we're going to flip it upside down and go this way. Just to prevent that. feel like there's no real way of getting around that either, no matter what kind of printer you use. And that's only 3 hours. It's not bad. So I'll show you guys the settings. The shell, I got 3 walls, so that's going to be a real solid print. I'm going to start off with wet sand in this one too. I'm not going to do any dry sand into this because this has a lot of texture. For the infill, we got 15%. So it's definitely going to be sturdy. And then 350 for the speed. Let me turn my printer on. With that on the CR10S, I think on the CR10S that maybe took, I want to say maybe 8 hours to just print out this one piece. That's what I really like about the K1 Max, is I save all of that time. And then a good thing to keep in mind from here, what I always do is I always put the scale, so 105, when I'm saving a file or sending it. Just putting that reminds me, so if I ever come back and I'm like, oh man, I forgot and I'm doing another piece later or something happens, I always remember like what scale that I put it at. Trust me, there have been a lot of times that I just kind of forget, and it's very important. Like the pumpkin bombs that I did. One side I made the bottom piece I made one scale, and then the top piece I made a different scale, and I had to figure out what scale I made it to, and I ended up having to making 2 new pieces. So that's perfect, only 3 hours. Sometimes it doesn't even take that. So that's the main piece, and then from there, this piece again I just created myself, but I do need this piece and then this small little triangle. So these are actually 2. So this triangle and this triangle, I kind of feel like I don't need them just because I'm using this, but I'm gonna print them out just in case. But after I get these 2 pieces, then the final piece is going to be this one. And like I said, this one, as you can see, the walls are a little short, a little thin. So this is what I mean where I want to pull that out. So that's going to be the last piece that I scale. These are just, some of them are just covers that they have that I don't really need. Like this piece is just the magnet that'll hold everything to my chest. That's only if I decide to make it wearable. I gotta go get a stand. This piece is definitely important. This is the front grill. It's a thin piece, but it comes up with a lot of texture, so I'm gonna do this way. Let's roll the dice. How much time do you guys think this will take? Don't skip ahead either. Let's see, I'm thinking probably like 30 minutes. Hour and 17, that's crazy. I would think it'd be quicker than that. Oh. And see, it's a good thing that you guys are watching me too, so you could see some of the things that I forget. I almost forgot to scale this up, so this got to be the 105 too. I don't know why this does that. So 105 now, slice. And so that's the grill. So again, that part gets soldered in. This part you typically have to sand down a little bit. But as you can see, it's a nice fit. So it's going to take an hour 27 now. And then again, that's why I always make sure to write the scale, because even if you forget, just remembering to write it. So it's about 4 or 5 hours just with those two. And then after that piece, that's the electronics panel. Okay, so then it's just this inner diffuser, this outer diffuser. So these two pieces. Boom. These two, I'm still going to stick with it and do these in transparent. These two, one of them always comes out a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do the smaller triangle at 104 and then the bigger piece at 105. That looks good. Makes me just a little bit nervous because I don't see a lot of supports, but I think I'm good with it. This one I won't put the scale, but we already know what it is. The other good thing is when you're doing a live, you can always watch the live back and see what you did. But those two will be perfect. And then the last piece is just the panel itself. So not that one. The panel cover, I'm going to see if I actually do need it. Once I print everything out. It's like if I have the diffusers in front of it, that should hold everything. Take this up to 105. And like I said, on the Y, I'll go up from 105. Put those up to 105 and then So I did those to 111, but you can see that those come out a lot thicker. Let me zoom in. So those are a lot thicker. I feel a lot more confident with that. If for any reason I have to reinforce it, then I'll just come up with something else for it, but I'll basically just come up with some small like rectangles and just print them like that myself. So I just make some blocks and then do it like that. But that's like 6 hours. I can get that done in a day. Alright, to get away from that thing keep falling, let's go ahead and just finish up and solder. This helmet together. I've been wanting to give you guys a short that kind of let me show you guys what that looks like too. So that's everything that's over there now. So I'll probably get those started. I do have something else that I want to get printed too, that I would like to start getting painted before the winter, but I'll see how everything goes. I'm a little low on filament. Let's get this one started. Bring it down a notch. And get the hot stuff. I might have to get a new soldering iron too. Just because this one is has a lot of like plastic burnt onto it. So for soldering everything like that, I don't want to have anything like that. It's gonna cause an interference. As you can see, this thing is dirty. It's all this stuff behind me. I already cleaned up most of the edge. With some 220 grit, I'm just gonna do like a little light surface touch up. This basically prevents there being any like gaps. I know on the camera that probably doesn't sound the best, but I had used my the snips to take off all like the bigger pieces. This is just the way, like I said, just to take off any other small bumps. feels good. You just want to make sure when you run your finger over it, you don't feel anything. So this is more the behind the scenes stuff. Now I had some clamps, but I have my dog and he loves plastic and he loves to chew. So I don't have my clamps anymore. It goes in now a chew toy. So I'm gonna just use some tape. It's funny, I hate glue, but I use duct tape on some stuff. This is just gonna be to hold it. Because as you can see, it's already holding these pieces together like firm. This has a lot of like magnet ports, everything like that. I made a cut somewhere where you wouldn't be. Oh, that's perfect. That lines up so smooth now. It's like butter. That's perfect. That's what you want to see. All right. But yeah, I cut it somewhere where it's like, it's on the triangles. I couldn't really avoid not getting on those triangles. If I did, if I got it in between like this space right here, it would have messed up one of the magnet ports, which like, looking at it now, I should have just did it because I don't think that would have been a big deal. But I also made sure to go back far enough so that way, even if you're looking at it from the front, you won't really see too much of the world. But I'm always intentional with where I cut. What I like to do is get the ends together. And then from there, I can kind of work everything out. As you can see with that, that lined everything up. So that's good. And then from here, you just want to make sure that it's like level. As I always say, the outside, I'm a lot more delicate with. I don't go too hard with the soldering iron, but the inside is where I go for bracing. It's good to have one that has a temperature gauge, a soldering iron that has a temperature gauge, because you want to make sure that you're dictating how hot everything is. It's also good to have a respirator and not be like right in front of this thing. What I basically try to do is just work the two sides together. If you're watching this is a learning curve. Don't think you're just gonna solder your first prop and just be like, woo. Now you can. I don't want to say that you can't, but it does take a little bit of time to get it. Key thing is just being patient, and again, just controlling the heat. Just being intentional where you put the soldering iron, but also paying attention, making sure you're not burning anything. But at the end of the day, you're gonna sand this and put some fillers over it, so I've even tried sometimes, if you do get big gaps, to take some of the filament that you have and put the filament into the gap, and then really become a welder like that as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys want like a welding 101. Me just showing you like different techniques, different tricks, how to solve different things. Like I said, with clamps, this will make it a lot easier, but just try to make sure there are no gaps or leaks or holes. Like I say, if there are some, don't be too uptight about them, because again, you're going to put fillers in there, so sometimes the fillers can get in there and cover those gaps, and then when they harden, they'll help with the bond as well. Once I get everything kind of good and lined up, then I just go over everything one time more and give like a glaze to it and really like close up all the holes. I left a little bit of crust at the end here. The piece that I didn't sand too good. And just that quickly. It's all connected. Like I said, you can see a little bit of gaps. Like I said, with the filler, it's not a big a deal. And like I said, from the inside now, I'll get a lot more thicker, so that'll start to cover up those gaps too. But on the inside, since it's pretty thick on the inside, the infill, I just kind of like smush this stuff together. You can see the lines from the inside a lot better too now, since I already got the outside connected and they're already touching. So you can see I just started with the middle, and then from the middle you can see that there's no more gaps. So on the inside you can just continue to go on that straight line, and again just like really dig into the print and make sure that those seams connect. You can do like a X pattern kind of thing, cross pattern kind of thing, however you want to, however you see fit. This one I might do the same thing with the foam to the interior. I was thinking of doing this in all in a transparent filament, but it didn't really light up the same way that the original Black Panther helmet does. So I said I'm not going to do that. But the mouth part of this does light up. So that's going to again be part of like showing you guys how to light things up. And just like that, guys, just a couple minutes. It's all sealed in. It's all connected. I kept looking at this thing. I've been wanting to do this for so long now. This thing is crazy. This thing is going to be a masterpiece. Now I can finally, like, oh my goodness. Listen, a lot of people ask, like, how I get the time to do this. A lot of it is just, like, printing stuff, which that part you don't really have to do much. But once it's printed, I can't really just keep sitting there looking at it because I just know the potential of what it's going to be. So I'm just like, let me just start it. And then just do a little bit here, a little bit there, just like that. Just a little bit here. And I'll come back tomorrow, do a little bit there. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So boom, that's the whole top. That looks beautiful. Since it's like easy to put on, because this back piece goes in by magnets, I might just solder this back piece together. I don't know. Once I do the paint, I'll see. Just doing that, bro. And then so yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to put some foam in here because as you can see, it's a little bit big. I think I did this at 100% scale though, but I think with this mouthpiece, I think this is perfect. But I think I will have to do, I might even do like a little strap, because sometimes with these helmets, since they're a little bit bigger sometimes, especially with these, it's like the eyes are a little narrow. Sometimes, like I said, you can see that they move a little. So I want to put something on the top, maybe like I got an idea. What I'll put on the top so that way it just fits on snug and it doesn't move. Yo, this thing is gonna be crazy. This thing is gonna be bananas, bro. Yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned. So all of this, there's a transparent piece that I gotta print out. But all of this is gonna be lit up. Whew. This is gonna be one of those ones, guys. Like I said, I want to get started priming it and everything. With that, I'm gonna catch up with you guys later. I hope you guys are intrigued for the winter. Like I said, a lot of life is just about adapting. Instead of complaining that it's getting cold, that you can't really paint, just adapt. It's gonna keep happening. Use that time for something more constructive. So, like I said, if you are somebody who does 3D print files, use this time to start making your own. Make a little series about it. Have some fun. Like I said, we're gonna be getting into some lights. We're gonna be getting into some PCB boards. We're gonna be getting into it all, guys. So make sure you do stay tuned. Like I said, I'm so like This is what I mean. Once you start something, it's like now I kind of want to do a little bit more of this. But stay tuned. It's BZ Comics. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.